Yeah.
And that would go for 15 minutes.
This will go for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that would go for 15 minutes, and then I'll cut it afterwards, so you don't.
Okay. Hi. Hi, this is Jared. I play with Jason. I mean, with Trigger, you were with Brett, and he wanted me to do a review of what I thought of the beta for Socom 4. And so we'll just go with that and see if I even fully understand what it takes to review a game. But anyways, first overall impressions. I like the game. I don't. I read a lot of stuff on the forums, on the SOCOM forums, and naysayers saying it's like MAG or it's like COD4, but honestly, I don't see that. It does have a couple MAG-like things as far as the diamonds over people's heads, running around the maps. A couple of the objectives I thought at first did, but only in the respawn modes do I feel like it plays even somewhat close to that game. And I don't know, I hated MAG. I don't hate this game. I also hated confrontation. I'm a SOCOM 2 veteran. That was my game. I played that for like 3 years. Played it at a pretty high level for probably most of that time. And so I was really looking for a game that at least brought back the same feelings. I didn't want it to be exactly like SOCOM 2 is, to be honest. SOCOM 2 fell short in tons and tons of categories. So I wanted to see him fix certain things. Let's go on some of the features on this. Basically, there's a cover system. This is one of the most controversial things for people. I'm stuck on something, but essentially, I think the problem they're having is the vantage point that it gives you. It lets you see a whole lot when you're in cover, but when you pop out of cover, you're really limited. To me, it replaces the lean, and I think it does it pretty effectively. It's one of the best cover systems I've seen in any game, and I don't see the argument that it takes away from anything in the game. Essentially, in SOCOM 2, one of the drawbacks, and I'm not really, it's so hard to play and talk, but in SOCOM 2, one of the drawbacks was the camera was too free and it was too backed up away from your character, so you could look all the way around the corner while you were camping, because a lot of the objectives were camping based. And, it just gave you too big of an advantage a lot of the time as a defending player. I think what Zipper was trying to do in this one was combat some of that advantage. And, they do it with a cover system so that you're actually, when you're in cover, it helps a little bit, but you're obviously not as mobile. Whereas before, you can run around as fast, you can shoot as accurately, you can just pop out and line up your scope. It was just way too easy in SOCOM 2 to get free, cheap kills from a camper's perspective. And let's be honest, SOCOM is about camping. That's what this game is predicated on. SOCOM 2 especially, and some of the game modes actually encourage camping. And that's kind of, I don't even know what I just put down. I think you got it. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really understand the argument. People arguing about, camping and stuff like that. This isn't COD. COD, I can understand why people don't like camping in COD, but that's not a tactical game. That's an arcade style shooter. So I think if you stick to classic mode, you're not going to have that problem, with the camping, because it's part of the game. That's the strategy. That's the only thing that allows it to be tactical, is needing teamwork to actually move around the map. So camping, they take camping out. You don't have anything like SOCOM at all. So I hope those aren't the same people making those arguments. But pushing down the control stick to run can be a little bit annoying, but you get used to it. You can see the scope pops right out immediately, so you can just shoot. So it's not as cumbersome as I thought it would be. SOCOM 2, obviously, you could run at full speed and fire accurately all the time, which, again, is kind of lame when you play other games that don't do that. And you see that, SOCOM 2 fell short in a lot of areas. And I'm not saying that they're trying to, when they added run speed, that they're trying to improve on the SOCOM 2 style, because I thought that was fine. I can see the advantages, or I can see the benefit of making it a little bit more difficult for players, and that's exactly why I like this game. I'm pretty competitive when it comes to gaming, and I play a lot of StarCraft 2 now. Masters League there, it's like the highest league you can be in. I was competitive in SOCOM 2. I only play games that I think I can be competitive in and to play them at a high level. And just knowing when I pick up the controller on this game for the first time, it wasn't as easy as SOCOM 2. It takes some getting used to. There's definitely a learning curve. aiming's not as easy as in other games, but you get used to it. It's not unnecessarily difficult, but it's not for beginners either. I can see a beginner getting frustrated. In fact, one of my roommates sat down to play the game, and he walked out and died, 5 times in a row. Basically thought it was incredibly difficult, and SOCOM games in general take a little bit of getting used to. But I think if you're worried about this being too easy mode or whatever, or too much easier than SOCOM 2, then I think you're going to be mistaken. It's actually much more difficult than SOCOM 2 to get good at, in my opinion. So yeah, we went over the cover system. If they did add, there's one thing is a lot of people are annoyed with. I'm kind of on board with this. Is the tapping up to talk on the headset? It's a little bit weird at first. You do get used to it, but I think the reason that they have to put it there is because of the cover system. So if they do end up taking out the cover system in like classic mode or whatever in favor of a lean, which honestly I don't think they should. I think the cover system's perfect the way it is. Then they could move that over to the O button for push to talk, just like it was before. And I just think that if they did that, it would please some people. It would definitely make it easier to know when you've got, or to grab the mic, like it was before. So that's just a small complaint. Let's see. What else? Yeah, the other thing is there's no audible signal that you have the microphone yet, but from what I understand, they're working on fixing that. Throwing grenades. I don't have any grenades in this loadout because he has a weird loadout. But essentially, there's no arc anymore. It actually kind of goes where your crosshair is supposed to. And according to they had some podcast or something saying it's, that they were trying to fix it. Right now, they're bugged, so they don't actually go exactly where you want them to go. So they've been working on the trajectory and all that stuff. So it can be a little bit difficult at times to throw a short grenade. You do get used to it though. It's weird at first. I like it overall, but the accuracy needs to be fixed. And they said that they're addressing that. And it's kind of at the top of their priority. They're saying so it should be fixed by release date, according to Zipper. So I mean that's encouraging. Let's see what else. Oh, the game modes. I like the new game modes. I was a little bit skeptical at first, just reading about some of them. They to me at first they all sounded kind of the same, but actually, as it turns out, they're not. Bomb Squad is actually really cool because um, you know when you control a bomb guy, basically you have these sick weapons, and you can usually take out 2 or 3 people if you're any good. Um, when you control the bomb guy, so that kind of puts your team at an advantage. You have this really super strong character, but then at the same time, you're at a disadvantage because you have to go on defensive or you lose. So then the other team gets the defender's advantage. So now they have to take out this bomb squad guy. This really powerful soldier or whatever, and but they get to do it from a defensive standpoint. So it kind of balances out the advantages and disadvantages equally to both sides, but it provides a lot of variety. So I don't know if they're going to replace demolition with it. I would like to see them bring demolition back, as well as a couple of other game modes, which I'll talk about in a minute. But overall, I'm really happy with that game mode. Uplink and Last Defense, I get them mixed up sometimes, and they're pretty similar in my opinion. And when I say that, it's because they involve going to certain points and controlling them. One of them you steal data and bring it back to your base. The other one you lock down three areas, and once you've done that, it unlocks another part of the map where you have to go plant beacons. So they're fairly similar. And that's might be another one of the things people think is mag life because of this kind of obscure layered objectives. But honestly, it's fun. They're good. I think the Last Defense one, the one with the control points first, that one's really good. It's a huge improvement over the other types of games with control points. And the last one's just suppression. That's just every game has suppression, so that's that. Let's see here. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the old school game modes that I'd like to see them bring back is pretty much the favorites, which is extraction, escort, and breach. Those are the ones that, in my opinion, encourage camping the most and encourage the most teamwork from the offensive team, the team getting the hostage or whatever. Um, that I would love to see those games come back because I think that's a lot of the people say oh, it doesn't feel like SOCOM. It's because those game modes are really important. And I can't aim for shit, but anyways, let's see what else was there. Grenades. Talk about grenades. SOCOM feel, yeah, when you get those feelings like when you're playing in the classic mode, especially in the clan matches, where your team's like, I mean, you're communicating and stuff. It's kind of weird because you're fidgeting with the microphone trying to figure it out. But overall, if that gets fixed, it's great. It feels tactical. There's definitely teamwork involved if you're playing with a good group of players. If you're not, it's going to feel, you know, like any other shooter game basically, which is lack of teamwork, and it's just kind of who you're playing with. So if you want to have the most fun in this game, you need to find a group of guys that you want to play with, but also take it at least seriously enough without killing and enjoying it to work together, and because you really have to, especially in modes like Bomb Squad and stuff. You need to hold down certain areas or move together, or maybe have a couple guys, kind of running, gutting, or posted up somewhere, getting people cutting across to your bomb tech and stuff like that. So there's a lot of room for strategy, and again, taking off. It's kind of like two games to me. We got the respawn mode. It feels arcadey. It feels Call of Duty, but I don't play that. Like to be perfectly honest, if I do, it's for warming up or maybe if I want to level up my weapons or something. But if you stick to classic, it's gonna feel like SOCOM. The cover system again enhances it. I'm at a loss. I can't think of what else I was supposed to talk about. Like what topics. Um, what other topics there were. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be good. I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait to see the new maps. The map. Oh, that's the other thing. The map. Um, in this one, there's two maps: Port Authority and this one that I'm on. This one has a lot of foliage. It's a little bit harder to move around as such, in my opinion. I mean, you would think that the opposite would be true with Port Authority being more wide open, but I find that there's just the right amount of cover in that map to to uh, to get around and quickly get behind something. So they kind of maybe know the general vicinity that you're in, but you have enough options to get around. This one is a little bit hard to move around because there's just a ton of places that people can hide foliage. They didn't want it to light up red if your crosshairs were over them, so you can get away with hiding in the bushes a little bit more. So I feel is a little bit more difficult to play on. It's difficult to have an amazing game on, but it's pretty solid for some gaming. So at Port Authority, that's the other map, and I'm not on that. I'm playing awful, dude. It's so hard to play. Huh? What does that say?
2 minutes left on it.
Port Authority is again wide open. I think that it's the best as far as the data goes for showing how the game modes work and just how they I don't know just how the game modes work and how they're meant to play out. Just because you don't have to worry about people hiding, you can kind of focus on the objectives and how you're going to get from point A to B rather than just like literally slowly creeping around every single corner. The last thing is snipers. It's like I just got sniped and made me think of it. I feel like snipers are a lot stronger in this game than they were in the previous SOCOM, and that's because of the fact that there are no pistols, so you have a primary and a backup, and you can have any combination of guns. You can have a backup SMG with a primary sniper or something like that, and it's advantageous to snipers in that way. That they'll be able to still have a legitimate gun to run a gun with if they need to move around, which is I think it's an improvement. Pistols were frustrating, and it's to me the pistols. I like the Desert Eagle and the Model 18 as much as everybody else, but when there's like 10 pistols in the game and people only ever use 2, then that's a problem. I mean, every once in a while I use like a Mark 23 silenced or something, but at the end of the day, you always go back to the DB where you can get those golden gun type kills. So I'm glad they didn't include that stuff. Overall, really again, to me it feels like SOCOM in classic mode with my teammates, but I can see the contention otherwise in the respawn mode because it is kind of hectic.